Hey, this is Dr. Bob. We are going to go over some hip flexor and hip adductor or groin muscle work today. And we're doing this for some patients that requested it. And so I'm going to share it with everybody else as well. So here we go. We're going to talk about some of our tools that we have first. And so let's see, how is this going to work? We got this. I'm going to turn around. So we have our foam roller. We have a hand roller. We have our Pokeball that we're going to use as well, and then a reference point. We have a tablet with anatomy as far as being able to show some of the structures and the muscles involved in the hip. So let's go over that first. This is the spine. Let's see, I'm gonna hold this. You wanna hold that, Lisa? Right there. There we go. So this is the spine and the tailbone right here. And then up in here's your pelvis, and then the leg bone here. The leg bone is attached to the pelvis right in this section right here, and it's attached through these muscles. These are the hip flexors right here, this triangular piece that comes down on the inside of the hip and across the joint. Then there's another muscle that comes across here, and then some that comes across from the pubic bone right here, like right, this is center line of the pelvis. And so then these muscles attach to the inside of the leg bone in that direction, and you can see how they pull as they have to stretch as the leg comes forward, and these will tighten up and pull up as the leg comes forward and flexes the leg bone as well. So we're going to target these muscles, the groin, and then we're going to target the hip flexor as well. So how I'll do that next is I'll show you on Lisa that I'll palpate or push on these muscles, and then we'll return on how to start working on them. So I hope you can see that. Let's see here. So on the pelvis, there's some landmarks. If you feel there's a big bump at the waistline right here, this is the front of the pelvis. And then if you drop down about an inch and then in about an inch, that's where the hip socket is. Go and lay your leg down flat. And so when you lay the leg down flat, the hip flexor goes long or it gets pulled tighter, and it's harder to work when it's in that position. Then it was over on the groin, right about here off the pubic symphysis, you'll have on the thigh bone those other muscles that connect your adductors, and that'll connect to the actual thigh bone itself. So hip flexor is from here up on the spine all the way to the other side of the hip socket, and then these muscles are from the thigh bone over toward the pubic symphysis on the pelvis itself. So we're going to take and talk about how to palpate or feel this. So you're going to bend your knee up, Lisa, and we're going to push right here. So you're going to go an inch in, inch down on the hip socket, and then you're going to be able to push or use a lacrosse ball. So when you're laying on your tummy and laying down, this is going to be where you're going to be targeting that hip flexor, and you have to work up and work down. And so with that, you'll use that ball and dig through that tissue, and you'll sit and you'll find tender spots and roll that area as much as you can. And there's not nerves or any bundles like that in here that you have to be worried about. So you're gonna take and dig through this and break up that tissue, and so you can do it when it's flexed forward like this and really tender, or else you can take and stretch it out or lay flat on your tummy and do that. And so she'll do this as well and try to show you how she's gonna do that and lay right on it. And then, yep, pull a hand out, and then she's gonna roll up and down and up and down, and she's able to go through that entire length of that hip flexor and be able to stretch that out. So at times I'll take the leg, and you'll see that this leg is bent right now, and you can put a pad under it, like the foam roller, like this, the foam roller underneath of it, so it stretches that hip flexor even more. And you're gonna just go up and down, and you're gonna break up, or you're gonna take and break up those adhesions on that hip flexor itself. So you want to lengthen it, and you want to make it reduce its spasm and feel basically, and that'll help you feel a lot better. So let's go ahead and go over the adductors now. So those are going to be a different position. So we're going to take, and this was the inside of the thigh. So, and it's here or on this side, the other side. We're going to take and roll the leg out. You see the shin is tipped out, And so it opens that, rolls that thigh bone open, and you'll hit this entire chain of muscles that goes straight up to the pelvis here, and that's what you're going to be aiming for. So it's hard to get to, but 2 ways we're going to do that. One's with foam roller. Go ahead, hop on, and it's vertical lengthwise with your body, and you're going to bend the knee up, and then see how she's laying with the foam roller, but she's going to roll across that. This is good to get general deep pressure into that area. It's just a hard area to get pressure on, and this you'll feel it as you almost bump over the tight spots in that muscle, and you're gonna sit and do this for 3, 4, 5 minutes and just improve the mobility within that as well. So as she's laying on her back, we're gonna use this, or her hip here, or sorry, sitting up. She's gonna take and roll the inside of that that groin all the way up to the pubic symphysis, all the way to that crease right there. See where the ledge drops off, and then go all the way down. Now she's hitting a little hip flexor. Now more adductors are the groin, and so the more that leg falls out, the more you're gonna get access to the inner groin. And all the way down, hit that inside of the thigh. Hamstring will come all the way up into there and plug into that knee as well. So make sure hit up on top, hip flexor, then you roll towards inside, more on that adductor, dig through all of that as well. Good. So these muscles, their actions are, and we're gonna go ahead and let's lay that down. So when a person is standing, we're gonna do like a shuffle stance. You're gonna take this shuffle stance and you're gonna, let's take 3 steps, yep. And every time you step out with that leg, it's gonna stretch that adductor, but as soon as you pull your body toward, or pull that leg towards itself or towards midline, it's gonna take and stretch. So a lot of side to side movement or stability movement with squatting and running, those types of things work the groin muscles or the adductors. And so you can even get into these positions and start rolling if you can grab that the roller here and work some of that as well while you're in that squat position, and roll inner thigh, all the way down the leg. So that's some information on working with, and it's only 7 minutes and 45 seconds of work on the hip flexor and the adductor. So I hope that helps you. It'll help alleviate back pain, even sciatic pain, hip pain, knee pain, but really it's meant for the adductors and hip flexor directed right now. Thanks. This is Dr. Bob McIntosh, Health Source Chiropractic.